Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Whenever the infinite expresses through the finite and comes under the influence of the finite, then a funny expression happens. Like if you put on a shoe which is one number less than your normal shoe number, and with that little small shoe you put on and walk, it's a great fun for others. Because our walk will be very funny. In the same manner, when the infinite is expressing through the limitations of these five principles, one is mistaking ourselves to be that I am doing this particular thing. Everything is just happening in the world. See, we go to the plant, plug the flower and make a flower pot of our head. Now in that, the flower is not created by us, the plant is not created by us, the hands by which we plug the flower, that hand is not created by us, the legs by which we have gone to the plant, those legs are not created by us, and yet I have done this. Where from this I has dropped? See, prakrute kriyamanani gudai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vibhudhatma kartahamiti bandhate. We have this funny notion that we are doing something. So this is the first funny expression of Maya through which the Absolute is expressing. The second one is the Vidya. Vidya is the knowledge gained through any instrument of knowledge. See, by our eyes we can see only a particular spectrum of light waves. Beyond that spectrum, our eyes cannot function. And therefore we imagine that whatever I see, that alone is the truth. If I cannot see, then there is nothing like the truth. So this is the second limitation, because of which the omniscience is reduced to a limited knowledge. Then the third one is the load of the desire that we carry and become desirer. Why? Because we have imagined ourselves to be incomplete, and to attain the completeness we have desire. Then the fourth one is the principle of time, kala, is inherent potentiality which is functioning in and through, where past, present and future is only an imagination. See? Because there is a sequence established, time is born. Kala, or the time, according to the technical terminology, is that inherent quality in everything in this world, because of which things starts modifying, changing and leading to their own annihilation. Take a fruit which was a small flower, becomes a big fruit, ripens, falls down. After falling down, the influence of Kala, the potentiality continues. Now that fruit is slowly rotting, water oozes out, slowly it becomes dried up and merges back in the soil. Who has done that? It is just happening. This principle of constant change is reduced by the division of past, present and the future. And the last one is the Niyati, wherein We are working under the influence of the three principles: time, space and object, Desha, Kala, Vastu. In this manner, the Maya starts expressing with these limitations. And this is common for everything and everybody. It is not something special. See, I'll give an example to make this point. I have experienced this many years before this principle. This happened in Delhi when I was submitted to capital punishment in India. Those who are transferred to Delhi, it is called as capital punishment. Because Delhi is the capital of India, isn't it? So you get the capital punishment. So I was moved over there. And one day, it was a rainy day, evening time. I was sitting in a veranda with nice cup of tea and tube lights were on. Lots of insects gathered. And that time, one small baby lizard, when she saw that, she started Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi Brahmano Brahmanavtam. So she started going towards those insects for the dinner. When this happened, there was a Dada lizard, a strong big one. She came, and when big lizard came, pushed away the baby lizard. So baby lizard ran. And when that strong Dada lizard came, then I was looking at, meanwhile the insects have already gone. Then I got up, took a stick in my hand, and I just wanted to push that big lizard. It was so ugly looking. So when I touched it, that also ran. So the insects ran because of the baby lizard. The baby lizard ran because of the big lizard. Big lizard ran because of me, the stick in my hand. And when the big lizard ran, that baby lizard thought, which has gone on the ceiling, that she is after my life. So she ran. And in that hurry-burry, she fell down on my hand. Then I ran. Now see the principle. The sense of insecurity, what the insect has, what the small lizard has, what the big lizard has, and what I have, is it not common? So the expression of life is common. See, one story I read in a magazine published from Ramana Maharshi's ashram. Very good story. There was a king, and one day his Guru Maharaj came and told him that, sir, your death time is coming nearer. You will be born as a pig. This will be your shape and form. If that time your ministry will come and remind you, you will be able to remember everything what I am telling you. I bless you with that. And then you can discard that body and again you will be born in the royal family and you can continue your kingdom. Okay. He dies. Thereafter for 1 year the minister has only one duty to find out that pig. The description was given. After 1 year somehow that pig was located. And then that pig was brought, because it's a royal pig. It was brought, given a nice bath and everything. And then in the ear of that pig, this minister said, sir, Your Highness, the pig started talking. Yes, I remember everything. You don't have to tell me. But I'll tell you, I never knew what a joy there is to be a pig than to be a king. Therefore, I don't want to leave this body. And I want to continue happily in this body. Friends, the joy of eating good food for you and me and the joy of eating filth for the pig is the same. See, there is no difference whatsoever. What we consider as ugly and dirty is the most auspicious for them. See, in short, the expression of life is common, whatever may be the instrument. It is not that the great masters are made out of 7.5 Mahabhutas and the ordinary people are made out of only 3.5. No, it is the same stuff. So this is the general expression or the manifestation of life. Now after this is done, then we come to the next step. And the next step is the individuality is born. See, we are not yet come to individuality. We are still at the cosmic or the totality level. When we talk anatomy, we don't talk anatomy of a person. We talk anatomy of human being. It's not that, some people have kidney here, some people have kidney here. No, it is the same. There is no difference. Same is the case of the principle of life. Now from there, now we come to the next, the third stage in the creation or the manifestation, that is the individuality is born. And that individuality and the corresponding opponent is Purusha and the Prakriti. So who is the Purusha? The Purusha is defined as Purishayanat Purushaha. The one who is embodied, the one who is living in the body is called as Purusha. And Prakriti is the matter or the expression of the Maya. Now this Prakriti I will explain you little later. First let us take Purusha. Now this is one of the most important principles. In case of Sankhya or the Yoga, they say Purusha is one. See, the Sankhya Yoga, they say Prakriti is one. Sorry, not Purusha. Prakriti is one. And there are many Purushas. And because of that, they say that there is one soul per head. Like we have got one soul per shoe. In the same manner, there is one soul per head. And once you accept the soul or the jiva as a real entity, your total spiritual practice is completely deflected in a wrong direction. See? Then what is that? Going to the hell and going to the heaven. See? Last life, this life, next life, and you are again in the relative world. So what is the relative world? Relative world is that where life is lived for the fulfillment of desires, where indulgence and bhoga is the foundation of life. See, we come across many stories in Bhagavad, etc. One or two I will tell you to make this point. It so happened, once upon a time, Naradji was going somewhere, and the two arrogant sons of Kubera. Kubera is the treasurer of gods, very rich personality. He had two sons, and they were so intoxicated with their position, wealth, they started behaving worse than animals. Drinking, smoking, indulging, naked on the roadside. And Naradji was coming. Naradji saw them and cursed them. You, the children of such a great person like Kubera, behave like this? You don't deserve to be what you are. So we curse you. You will be born as only the trees. Your life is worse than the trees. So they are cursed and they are born as trees. And then, however, I give an appendix added to the curse. See? The appendix added to the curse is that when Bhagavan Krishna will be taking avatar, you will be liberated. See, this is one story. Second story is Arjuna's. Arjuna goes to the Indralok and all the Apsaras, I told you that day, the meaning of Apsara. Apsar means officer, in Hindi is called as Apsar. So Apsaras, therefore, the wives of the officers are Apsaras. So all these Apsaras were so much infatuated and were attracted towards him. When he rejected, denied, they got angry and cursed him, you will become important. Now come to the point. Whether you are in heaven and you have lust and desire of any kind, or you are in an ordinary place, or you are in a rich overdeveloped country, everywhere the expression of life is there. See? So whether we are here and desiring, I wish I can have one more room added to my house, or somebody is in the heavens and expect, I wish I can get a flat in the civil lines in the heaven. In the heavens also there are civil lines, there is slum, everything is there. Because it is the relative world. Therefore, when we accept Jiva as an entity, one per head, we continue to be in this relative world and the whole life is spent only in this. Last life, this life, next life. Last life, this life, next life. See? How long? There is a limit to bluffs. Therefore, the real meaning of Purusha, Jiva, Jiva is not a Vyakti or the individuality. It is a principle, phenomena that is happening. To understand this, take an example of these lights. There are 100 bulbs, so there are 100 lights. So individual bulb, if you take, it is a Vyakti individuality. But through all the bulbs, the same principle is manifesting. See, friends. Therefore, when a bulb is fused, nothing happens either to electricity or to the light. Can we say when one bulb becomes fused, the light from that bulb comes out like a Bunsen burner flame and inserts, because the soul is going. You must have seen in the movies they show. The soul has come out from the head if you are a yogi and comes out from below if you are a bhogi or a rogi. And then it goes here and there, inserts. Jaga hai kya jaga? Ah, mil gaya. Because in the womb they read a board. 2TO space LET. And the small I enters there. And this is how the toilets are born. See, friends, these are all cock and bull stories. Please understand that one reality alone is expressing through all the bodies. Depending on the type of the body, expressions are different. See? Can we say that if the electrical energy is expressing through the bulb, it is a light energy? Through the fan, it is a moving energy? Through the heater, it is a hot energy? No. Expressions are different on account of the gadgets. See, friends. So this Purusha is therefore expression of the infinite through the limitations of the Panchakoshas is called as Purusha. And then this Prakriti, what is the Prakriti? Now this is another very important topic in our scriptures to be understood. Prakriti or the Maya or the potentiality or the Shakti, whatever names you give, is said to be Trigunatmika, made up of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And these three gunas have got three expressions individually. First, the Sattva guna of this Prakriti has brightness and lightness. Then at the psychological level, it is transparency, joy and peace. And in the ethical order, it is good conduct and good behavior and noble character. Then Sattva guna is expressing. Then comes the Tamo guna. Tamo guna is a principle of darkness and inertia. And at the psychological level, it is dullness, delusion and dejection. And at the ethical level, it is the principle of degradation, debasement and vulgar existence. And the Rajoguna has again the three characteristics. One is that of the activity, psychological level, it is the craving, desire, passion, ambition, and at the ethical level, the principle of attainment. I want to achieve this. So, this Prakriti is having three gunas, and the three aspects of the Prakriti from each of the guna is at a gross level, at the psychological level, and at the ethical level. And this is how this world is now being created. For the Purusha, the Prakriti creates this world. See. And it is common. It is not that something is special for anybody. Now here I will give a little more information which is not concerned here, but very important. In Mandukya Upanishad, there is one chapter in Karika where it is said, has anybody ever seen the three gunas? No. How do you arrive at the three gunas of the Prakriti? Because of the observation of the world. What is the observation in the world? World has got these three principles. One is the principle of inertia. Second is the principle of activity. And third is the principle of knowledge. So, the cause of the principle of knowledge is called as Sattva Guna. The cause of dynamism is called as Rajoguna, and the cause of inertia is called as Tamoguna. So, the cause is established from the effect. So, effect has become the cause of the cause, and the cause is the cause of the effect. Think. To understand this more clearly, whether you have proper vision or not, how will you know? If I can see colors and forms, I have vision. Very good. If there are no colors and forms, can the vision be established? No. So, the vision is because of the colors and forms, or the colors and forms are because of the vision. They are mutually dependent. Anything which is mutually dependent is an illusion. It is not real. See, when father was scolding the son, I gave you birth for this purpose. You are cutting my nose in the society. Now the son says, Dad, enough is enough. Who told you? Who told you that you gave me birth? The father started shivering. You know what is coming out, God knows. See? Then the son said, Dad, who called you dad before I was born? None. You are dad because of me. So the father is because of the son and the son is because of the father. They are mutually dependent. They are not real. Real is a man. See friends, Therefore, this Prakriti is only a phenomena of mutual dependence. Therefore, when we understand anything which is mutually dependent is an illusion supported by a third factor which is independent. So the father is independent, rather the man is independent of the father and the man is independent of the son. When the son was not born, the father is there. When the son is born, this man is there. When the son goes away, the man continues to be. This eternal principle. To draw our attention to this topic is brought out, Purusha and the Prakriti. Therefore, we have to clearly understand that the Jnana Shakti is manifesting as the Sattva Guna, the Kriya Shakti as the Rajoguna, and the third one, the Ichha Shakti, as the Tamoguna. Now, after having understood this, the next stage in the creation is how do the experiences happen? So there are three principles of inner instrument through which the experiences happen. So before I take up this, now this is another important point to understand. One day I was going somewhere by somebody's car and there was some reason we had to stop the car, traffic etc. Car was on and I was feeling very sleepy. So I put my head against the door glass and sleeping. In between I'll open my eyes. Because of the vibration of the glass, whatever I was seeing, that was also vibrating. I said, hey, what happened? The whole world is vibrating. Then I removed my head. It is steady. Then again I put, again vibrating the head, therefore everything was vibrating. And it was a great truth that is revealed. We perceive the world through any instrument. The quality of that instrument determines your perception and your knowledge. That which is not included in the mind does not exist for us. This is the rule. See? This is an order. Here we are seen everywhere, fire order. When you see there is no fire, please put on fire. Similarly, this is the order. That which is not included in the mind does not exist. So simple. See? Now, this particular point, I was talking to the children many years before. I went for the lecture in the afternoon, this time only class, finished my bath, and those days I used to put on the chandan. Now I cannot put on. There is a revolt here, so I can't put on. So when I went, I put on the chandan here and went for the class. And all the children sitting. And when they saw my chandan here rather than here, I said, what happened? Now we are to study here. Don't unnecessarily make fool of yourself. Take out the chapter 14, Bhagavad Gita we are studying. They couldn't hold because I was looking so funny. See, putting the chandan here, you can see how funny it will look. And finally I said, hey, come on, tell, I will also laugh with you. Why are you laughing so much? Swamiji, you are looking like a cartoon. I said, what happened? See, you have put the chandan here, not here. I said, very good. Now tell me, the one who told me that this is wrong with me, they are my enemies or friends? They are my friends. Because they have pointed out my mistake. And once I come to know this is my mistake, will I not correct myself? See, friends, spiritual path is this. What happens in the satsang? Our wrong notions are corrected. And if we are able to understand, it was a wrong notion. We have been living through our life. Because majority says something, it is not the truth. See, in democracy what happens? The value of the vote of an idiot and the value of the vote of a great philosopher is one. It is not different. So from the democratic standpoint, the donkeys and horses are same. In case of the truth, it is not so. Therefore, because everybody feels that I am the body, because everybody feels, no, for a common person, then you suffer. See, friends, therefore, what is that which is known or accepted by us as existing is that which is included in our mind. See? Suppose some cobra comes from backside and does like this on my head, and you are all in front sitting. You will see, oh God, I hope Swamiji doesn't move. Or if that fellow directly like a coconut water, he'll put his head here and start drinking. So you will be frightened, but I am comfortable because I don't know. See, that which is not included in the mind doesn't exist. This is the rule. When our mind is enfolded in deep sleep, the whole world disappears because it is not included in the mind. So this mind or the inner instrument, what it is? This is to be clearly understood. So there are three principles. Their principles are called as buddhi, then ahankar and manas. Now what is the meaning of buddhi? So buddhi is the see, all these three, buddhi, ahankar and manas, compromise translation, intellect, ego and mind. These are not correct translation, but we have to have something. All these three are the different states of the thought. All are thoughts. See? So, that state of thought where decision and conclusion is arrived at, whether right or wrong doesn't matter, that state of the thought is called as the intellect. Second thing, that state of thought where there is confusion, there is no decision, there are many options thought of, that confused state of the thought is called as mind. Then the question comes, whose decision, whose confusion? Of course, my confusion. So, that aspect of the thought which is ownership, that is called as the ahankar. So, these are only functional differences. There is no structural difference. Like man remains the same structurally, functionally he is different. Before his father, he functions as a son. Before his son, he functions as a subordinate. Before his wife, he doesn't open his mouth. See, man is the same, but functionally they are different in the same manner. Thought is the same. Functional differences are there. So these three, ahankar, buddhi, ahankar and the mind. So buddhi becomes the instrument where objects are received either from outside or from inside. See, the other day where I was talking, there was one boy who was asking a question, one after another question. I said, look here, be very attentive. It happened in England when I was in somebody's house, reached from the airport, 4 hours drive, had my food and slept. So before sleeping I was reading some magazine And after that I went to sleep. So put the magazine and tried to see the switch. Where is the switch? I could not see. Then I had to get up and see where is the switch. And when I saw the switch, that bright light entered my eyes. Oh God. And I switched off. But that brightness of the light was such a deep impression on the mind. So although I close my eyes, I still see the light. Then I opened my eyes. I was seeing the street lights outside the house. Again I close my eyes. That light impression on the mind is seen. And it was a great click. That experience which requires the presence of the external objects is a waking experience. That experience which does not require the presence of the external objects, but only the impressions on the mind are enough. That is a dream experience. And both these experiences, whether the waking experience or the dream experience, both of them are illumined by this conscious principle, which is not influenced by either the waking experience or the dream experience. So all the experiences, good and bad, external or internal, they are happening in the intellect, the buddhi tattva. And when we get identified with those experiences, external or internal, then a sense or the notion of I is born. I have seen, I have not seen. This is the second principle called as the principle of ahankar. This ahankar cannot be translated as ego, because ego is an illusion. Ahankar is the principle, tattva. It is not to be mistaken as ego. Now this ahankar, so from the buddhi, the ahankar is born, and from the ahankar, the manas tattva is born. In this manner, the three inner instruments through which all the experiences happen. So see where from we have started, from the absolute reality, slowly we have percolated and we have come up to mind. We have not yet come out. We are still at the totality subtle level. Now we are coming at the gateways of our personality to enter the gross world. See, in Patanjali Yoga Darshan, there are 8 steps told for spiritual practice. One is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Yama is how we conduct ourselves with the world. Niyama is how we conduct ourselves with ourselves. Asana is steadiness. Pranayam is control of the breath. These are the external spiritual practices included in only the Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga limits here. Then from the external world we have to now enter. So when we have to enter within, what are the gateways? The gateways are the senses. So here all the senses are closed. That is called as pratyahara. So pratyahara is a sadhana wherein we close the gateways to the world. And after we have closed our faculties, no more extrovert, then the next problem comes about the mind. Now for the mind, the practice is dharana, dhyan, samadhi, wherein we control our mind with reference to time, space and object. So the same way here the teacher is now telling that we have come up to the mind. Now how do we come in contact with the world? Through the faculties. Now which are those faculties in the process of creation? It is the 5 jnanendriyas, the 5 organs of perception. Like here also it is so systematic and so subtle and clear. From the Sattva Guna aspect, knowledge aspect of the space, ears are created. Ears means hearing ability, Jnanendriya. Then the second element is air. From the Sattva Guna aspect of the air, the skin, Tvagendriya is created, the organ of the touch. Then the third element is fire. From the Sattva Guna aspect of the fire, the organ of color and form called as the eyes, they are created. Then the next element is the water. So from the Sattva Guna aspect of the water, the tongue, the tasting of taste, this rasana, that organ is created. And then the fifth is the earth. From the Sattva Guna aspect of the earth, then the nose, the Granendriya is created. In this manner, the five organs of perception, then five organs of action, in the same way from the Rajoguna aspect, they are created, and the five tanmatras. Tanmatras are only sound. See, tanmatra means what? Tat means that, matra means only. We are not talking about good or bad sound. Sound, the tanmatra of the space, then touch, we are not talking about hard or soft. Then the form or the color, we are not talking about red, green, yellow or round or flat. Then the taste, we are not talking about the bitter or the sweet, only the taste. And gandha, the smell, we are not talking about good or bad smell, only the smell. These are the five tanmatras created. And in this manner, one is able to come in contact with this world through these five sense organs, organs of actions, etc. And thereafter, now we have come out, now the last step in creation, manifestation, is this whole gross world. Now how this gross world is created? From the Shabda Tanmatra, from the sound, the space is created. From the Sparsha, the air is created. And in this manner, from the Rupa Tanmatra, the fire, from the Rasa Tanmatra, the waters, and the Gandha Tanmatra, the earth is created. In this manner, the completion of creation happens up to this level. Now, let us take the next step in the creation or the manifestation, and that is the jiva, the soul. Now, what is the soul or the jiva? Now, here is a very deep and methodical presentation. We have to clearly understand this. First of all, this consciousness expressing through any conditioning of the body is referred as the jiva. First. Therefore, jiva consists of three components. See, the light that we see in the bulb, it consists of three components. First is electricity, second is bulb, and third is light. Can there be light in the absence of any one of them? No. In the same manner, when we see our reflection in the mirror, there are also three factors are involved. Our beautiful face, that terrible mirror, and the beautiful reflection. So, but when we think about the reflection, we forget that behind the reflection there is the original face. In the same manner, jiva is absolute conscious existence expressing through the limitations of these bodies is called as the jiva. So if the bodies are removed, if the bulb is removed, the light will disappear. Nothing will happen to electricity. In the same manner, jiva is a phenomena. It is not an individuality, but it is here we go wrong. Therefore, The first step is the consciousness, the Chaitanya, the Shiva Tattva, the self-effulgence expresses in every individual, whatever may be the body, that is the absolute reality. Then second thing, when this consciousness expressing through the body becomes identified with the three bodies and attain the status of the Jiva, thereafter the prana shakti is manifested in the body and the body becomes enlivened. Then the psychic apparatus, the mind or the antakaran, the three principles which we have seen, buddhi, ahankara and mind, and these panchatanmatras put together become 8. These 8 factors are called together as the subtle body. And thus every jiva is nothing but expression of the infinite reality through the conditioning of the gross and the subtle body. In this particular principle or the science, there is introduction of the Kundalini Shakti. The Kundalini Shakti also will understand it in detail and very clearly. And this Kundalini Shakti is expression of the divine energy through us in a controlled manner. Now I'll just give you some little understanding about Kundalini Shakti. Many people have this. See, there are 7 psychic centers in our personality, and those 7 psychic centers are along the spine, but they are not in the spine because they are psychic. Like mind is not a structure, it is only a functional entity. So these 7 psychic centers are, the lowest one at the base of the spine is called as the Mooladhara chakra. Now the energy gets caught up in this Mooladhara chakra at the base of the spine, and the catch leads to the body identification. And when we are or the energy is identified with the body, the sense that I am the body happens. Now remaining things are the consequence of this error, first error. So when I consider I am the body, then the second chakra is the Swadhisthana chakra, where the desire is the prominent factor, kama. Because I am the body, incomplete, therefore I have desire. So then the second catch is the Swadhisthana chakra. Now the third catch is the Manipur chakra at the level of the umbilicus. There this chakra is expressing as the greed. So these lower 3 chakras is called as the living in hell. When we live as a body only for fulfilling the desires, and there is no end to the greed. We want more and more and more. How much more? There is no end to that. So living in these lower 3 chakras is called as a greed, is called a living in the hell, naraka. So Kundalini Marga tells us, first of all, chakra bheda. Bheda doesn't mean piercing and destroying. Bheda means the secret. So what is the secret of this Mooladhara chakra? The Mooladhara chakra secret is, as long as we are identified with the gross body, the gross world will continue to be real. So all our spiritual practice is, let us no more live as the body, but come to live through the body. See? And if we want to live through the body and not as the body, now what is the load of this statement? What does it mean? Work on that. Find out. Then we come to know that with reference to gross body alone, the gross world becomes valuable and important. With reference to gross body alone, all relations become real. And all the problems are only with reference to the relatives and the gross world. And what is the culprit? Culprit is body identification. And what is the logic behind the body identification? No logic. See, friends, therefore, opening up the Mooladhara Chakra is attainment of freedom from body identification. See, friends, and when we have to attain this, what is to be done? Observe what we do before going to sleep. Observe that. That is all. 2 times if you become extremely aware, your meditation will start happening. Once when you go to sleep, how you go to sleep? First of all, we leave the world. Then we leave our position. I am rich, I am poor, I am successful, I am failure, I am good, I am bad. We leave it. Then we leave all relations. I am husband, wife, father, mother, brother, everything we leave. Then we close everything and then cover ourselves with a quilt. And ultimately, I want to sleep, even this thought is given up. Then the siren starts ringing. See? And when we are no more identified with the body for 5-6 hours, 3-4 hours, after that, when we again get identified with the body, what is that which has recharged us? Only one thing. And recharging happens because we were not carrying the load of body identification. See? Breaking this secret is called as the Mooladhara Chakra is open. And our desires are directly proportionate to the intensity of our identification with the gross body. See, there was a friend of mine, is no more. When he died, he left his body in my lap only. So last 3-4 days, when I saw him, I told his wife, I said, Mama, there is something wrong with Papa, let us take him to the hospital. No, Swamiji, don't worry, he is always funny. He always does like that, don't worry about it. I said, no, it is not like that. But they didn't listen. And finally he died. So those 4-5 days, last 4-5 days, I was with him. He has completely withdrawn from everything. His son was to get married and a girl was to be seen. He said, Swamiji, you go and see the girl, I don't want to go. You go on my behalf. I said, suppose I go and I like the girl then. That time I was young. Then thereafter they have to purchase the ornaments and gold and things. You go and he did not do anything. He used to like lots and lots of bhajans. He said, no bhajan, switch off. And he started withdrawing like this. Very clearly. And when he left his body, I could very clearly see, slowly, as if, when your car glass is having the fog and you start the AC and the fan, how slowly, that fog starts lifting. In this manner, slowly, he started as if discarding the body, and he closed his eyes and slept in my lap like a small child. No trouble, no disturbance, no anything. Oh. It was difficult to accept that he is dead. See? Exactly the same thing happens when we go to sleep. We slowly start withdrawing from the world. And when we withdraw from the world and merge in our essential divine energy, we are as if recharged. And what is that recharging? Given up the load of the body identification. But again we wake up means what? Again the same, lift the whole luggage and again, Hare Ram Ram. How many times we have done this? Just become aware of this phenomena that is happening. All the things will become distinctly clear. Then To the extent we give up body identification, to that extent the Swadhisthana chakra, the desires of the worldly things and beings, they will start becoming lesser and lesser potent. When the desires of this world become less and less potent, then our greed reduces to that extent. We are no more greedy. See? And when these three things are conquered, body identification, freedom from desire, and no greed, we migrate as if in the Anahata Chakra. Anahata Chakra is a place in the spiritual heart. And here there is a distinct experience of that we are able to eliminate all the thoughts, good and bad. But do not get influenced by any thought. Now be very attentive, it's very technical and deep thought, please understand. Only that to which we give importance and value, that alone becomes strong. That to which we devalue, it becomes weak. Every thought gathers its strength from our weakness. But if we devalue anything, there cannot be any thought of that thing. And what is the technique of devaluation? Remain undisturbed, non-reactionary to any thought. If there is a good thought, we don't have to jump and dance. If there is a bad thought, we don't have to burrow and go below the earth. No. The thoughts come and dance and go. Who cares? When we no more get disturbed by the objective thoughts, then what happens? The subjective thought, in that the thought aspect of the subject disappears and a thought-free subject remains. That thought-free subject recognition is called as Atmajnanam, Atmakhyati. And when this happens, we migrate from the Anahata Chakra to the Vishuddha Chakra at the throat level, where we are no more living as an individual persecuted by this relative world. And we have come to the Vishuddha Chakra. See? And Vishuddha Chakra state is like what? It is like a flame of a candle kept in a corner where there is no breeze. So it is steady. Nivata sthita deepavat. But it has got all the potentiality of movement. The moment little bit of air will come, it will flicker. So when the Atma Jnana happens, then there is every possibility that we may again fall back to the world. It is here the grace of the God and the Guru is invoked. Then let us not get carried away by anything in this world. Then what is this I that is existing independent of the remaining 5 chakras? Then this I is inquired, who am I? Who is this I? Then this inquiry is taking place between the Vishuddha Chakra and the Agya Chakra. It is a journey from the Vishuddha to the Agya. And this inquiry tells us that it is one conscious existence which is expressing through all the beings. Therefore, this Atma, the Self, is Brahma Swarupa. So here the experience is Aham Atma, I am the Self, And when the self is not one per body, but there is one reality expressing through the totality. So the self is of the nature of the Brahman. So Aham Brahmasmi experience happens in the Agya Chakra. See? This is the journey through the path of Kundalini. Up to here, the spiritual practice is within our scope. Thereafter, life is lived through. There is nobody who is living the life. See, this dissolving the jiva is the purpose of telling this principle of creation. So in this manner, this Kundalini Shakti, which is dormant in every being, can be invoked by a proper understanding. And when one goes beyond the three limitations, Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, one comes to get established in the conscious bliss, which is called as Turiya Tattva or the fourth one. So this is what is the story of the Jiva. Then comes the next important topic. What is the bondage and what is the freedom? The bondage or the bandhan and the freedom or the liberation or the moksha. Now these are also only because we think we are in bondage. We only imagine we are liberated. Bondage and liberation are only our mental projections. We only imagine, I am most unlucky. See, I'll tell you one example. One boy refused to get married to a particular girl. So the mother came and told Swamiji, such a nice relation has come. He is refusing. He is such a fool. Please tell him. I said, look here. When I have failed in my life to get married, what can I advise others? I will not advise. For Swamiji, please. I said, no means no. You tell me something else. And finally, that marriage did not take place. Within 6 months, they came to know that particular girl which their boy has rejected was off the head. Some screws were fallen. And when they came to know, Swamiji, thank you very much, by your grace, he did not get married to her. Our own imagination, nothing else. We imagine somebody is good, then we imagine somebody is bad. We imagine that this is the freedom, we imagine that this is the bondage. Okay? Whatever I feel like doing is a freedom. So this is all our definition, nothing else. Therefore, let us understand the principle of bondage and the freedom. Now, this bondage or the freedom is called as, these are all technical terms, Anuvamala or the innate ignorance. Innate ignorance means not being aware of our own divine glory. This living in unawareness, living mechanically is the Anuvamala, and it is because of the Ichcha Shakti, because of the will of the Lord. Why the Lord is reduced to the Jiva, it is His will. We have no question to ask. It is just like that. Then the second one is the Mayiya Mala and the third is the Karma Mala. So the Mayiya Mala is because of the Jnana Shakti. What is the Jnana Shakti? When the eyes are able to see a particular spectrum of light waves, we imagine that much only is the light. But the light waves are much more than that. But getting lost in the limitations of our own experiences is called as Mayiya Mala, and such ones are thinking only what we experience through our senses and mind, that alone is the truth and nothing beyond. Therefore, some people ask, Swamiji, have you seen God? One boy asked me this question. Have you seen God? Why should I tell you? No, I want to know. You may want to know anything. I will not tell you. No. Same question was asked by Vivekananda to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. I said, you may be Vivekananda, I am not Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. See? We ask the question, but do we know the meaning of the word God means what? Therefore, this is the Maya Mala and Karma Mala is born out of the Kriya Shakti. Because of the karma, we do good and bad karma, correct impressions, again born, again do karma, again born. There is no end to this. So, when we are caught up in these three limitations of these three, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti, we are under bondage. When we transcend them, then there is no more bondage for us. Then the last one is the liberation, freedom. So what is the freedom? Freedom is, first is cognition of I as other than the body. The first stage in freedom. The second stage in freedom. This one, who is other than the body, who is he? Is he one per body or he is the one expressing through all the bodies? This is the second stage. And the third stage, liberation, is nothing has ever happened. See, it is just an experience through conditioned relations among the things. And therefore, everything is just an illusion. Like we see the water and we call it as the ocean. We see the water, we call it as the waves. So what we have done? To the water we have given two abuses. Once we call it as the ocean and second we call it as the wave. But can they be other than the water? So from the water's point of view, ocean and waves have no existence. So what is an illusion? Illusion is a sense of otherness is an illusion. When the sense of otherness disappears, liberation is attained. And this sense of otherness disappears and we attain liberation every day when we go to sleep. There is no sense of otherness, there is no bondage. See, friends, to come to this point is the purpose of studying these fundamentals. And when these fundamentals are clearly studied, then we come to ascertain. Now, what are the methods by which we are able to attain liberation from our present state? Now, there are 4 methods indicated, and out of these 4 methods, whatever we can, we'll do it in our next class. I just tell you only the name. The first technique is called as no technique. There is no technique. It's just like that. Why you are so happy? Why you require a reason to be happy? See? It's just like that. First. Second is the Shambhavopaya. Third is the Shaktopaya. And fourth is the Anvopaya. So these are Upaya means Upa means near, Ayagatav. That which takes us nearer to our essential self is called as Upaya. Now these Upayas are the bulk of this text. So up to here I have given you just in general the introduction. And hereafter, whatever we have to take, we'll see it in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya